Hello. Hello, hello. Let's get some vibey music going. I don't know if I love this one. It's a lo-fi, but it was a little too upbeat for me. Okay. We got some background music. I gotta get my chat up on my tablet here so I can see who's talking. I think I got as much light as I can get. Okay, let's go here. Hello, home screen. I've had this tablet for way too long and I still don't know how to get to the home screen. I'll just keep pressing things until it works. Okay, so here we are. I got chat. I got a sewing machine. I got a microphone. I've got OBS, which looks like the mic is doing good. I'm gonna try to quick take a listen to make sure the background music isn't too loud. How am I gonna do that? We're gonna unmute this. We're gonna unmute this. We're gonna unmute this. Yeah, that didn't really help me. I have no idea. You guys are gonna have to let me know. It's good for you, thank you. All right, so we are making plushies. That's what we're doing today. I made one little cow ear. Oh, I should put this up here so I can see what I'm showing you. Yeah, one little cow ear off stream to try to make sure everything was halfway decent. So I gotta make the ears, and then the ears get sewn into the face, and then the face gets sewn onto the cupcake, and then the cupcake bottom gets put on, and then we have an animal in a cupcake. So, ears first. We go mash these two ears up. What are you up to today? Anything fun? Or are you just chilling? I I ask too much of myself on the weekends usually. So I am just trying to give myself some grace. I did want to finish these today, so that's my goal. Yeah. I was at yoga this morning, and then I went grocery shopping, and then I did a bunch of online stuff. Like I created a blog and added it to my store page, and I created some social media videos, and oh yay! I have anti-wig. I did wigs when I started cosplaying, and I think the problem is like I have a low tolerance to heat, and all the cons that I do are in either places where it's almost always hot or definitely the time of year when I go it's hot. And so I die. So I have a list right now that I keep adding to of characters with purple hair because I'm bound and determined to just cosplay all characters with purple hair and just keep my purple hair. And then, we're cool. And I don't have to wear wigs. I do still have a handful. If it came down to it, I could get them out and wear them. I have one for if you ever played Genshin or heard of the game Genshin, the main character of that game, I have her costume. Hi Tootsie dear. How have you? How have you? How are you? How have you been? How are you? I just combined those two things together. It's fine. Okay, so we got a pair of cow ears. So now the next step. I should get my instructions out because I'll probably end up messing this up. Oh, ads already. Jeez Louise. That's okay. While the ads are coming, while the ads are going on, I am going to pin this up and then I'm going to double check my directions before I ruin something. Because I did this last time I made these. I thought, oh, I've made a set. I know how it goes. And then I forgot something and had to tear things apart. Okay, so page. You are okay and you have been all right. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, so page 9. 7 is cutting. We did the cutting. We did the faces. We sewed the ears together. Cool. This stuff done. Now, base the ears, we don't have to do that because I skipped that part because it's too complicated. So we're sewing the darts. We're sewing the ear into the dart. That is what we're doing, and I have it correct. Huzzah! I was gonna play Fortnite earlier, but I missed Riku, and then I got distracted because the group, Rosie's in here from my group that's auditioning for the podcast, the D&D podcast that I've been talking about. They put out videos of all the group's playtests so far, and I down the rabbit hole of watching those because I don't want to, torture myself with thinking about everything that we could have done better and all the things that these groups are doing and make me feel like I'm not going to get in. But cross our fingers. We don't know. And we're supposed to find out Tuesday for the next step. But then Dave, such a nice guy, is letting more groups do second sessions. And they're playing through the 24th. So it's another probably week. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will be so sad if I don't. I was like gone gung ho. Like, as a matter of fact, I have actually already went and ordered a soundproof blanket, and well, I'm getting the what you recommended. The why can't I think of what it's called now? like the photography stand, because I'm going to use that anyways when I set up my booth. So that wasn't an extra cost, but I've got acoustic panels coming, and then I've got a soundproof blanket, a sound dampening blanket to try to cut down some of the sound in here. And actually, if I get these done and I still have energy, I was gonna try to turn in at least one audiobook. I originally had 2 auditions on my to-do list, but I think I'm gonna be happy if I get one done, because I'm gonna have to take like 500 takes to make sure that it's good. Because I have the opposite problem of, I think, a lot of people, in that like they have a dry mouth and so they get the clicky sounds, and I have a very wet mouth, so I get all the slappery sounds. But I'm learning how to use my software and like remove some clicks and normalize the volume and check the RMS, so I know that it'll pass. Okay, so we got cow face with ears. It's kind of hard to see because I don't know how to plan the pattern, and so it's black eyes on black spots, but you know, it's okay. Yeah, it'll be so good. It'll be so useful. Okay, so now I gotta double check, but I think the next thing I do is sew the head. Oh yeah, we already sewed the cupcake lines. We already put on the frosting. Bam! We're done. Now we got to we're gonna sew the face onto the cupcake liner. This doesn't seem to be going the right direction. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're gonna pin this together. As long as it starts and ends without too much overlap, we will be golden. And I'm going to make sure the ears stay on the inside. So we can pin this in. I don't know what, oh yeah. I keep looking because I can't tell if you guys can see what I'm doing, but you're probably just here for me and my vibes and not really for the crafting, so it's okay. This cow face is so much smaller than the cupcake, so we're gonna have to do some magic of stretching, which won't be too hard because this fabric is very stretchy. So we're gonna stretch the cow fabric and not the cupcake liner fabric, so that they end at closely the same spot. Then we get to fold the guy in half, and then we put the bottom on, and then we stuff it, and then you can see what it actually looks like. Okay, cool. We got this to line up for the most part. Yay, how exciting. This fabric just like falls apart all the time. It is so floofy. Thank you, my love. So what level in Fortnite are you by now? I think when I saw you last, it was like 50 something already, or maybe I'm getting my days or my people mixed up. I think I'm on level 2. I really should just play on my own just to remember the controller keys now that I'm back to controller. Come on. Oh, these eyeballs are gonna be, oh, or no, is that the not? Wait. It's just, I don't know if this makes sense or not. I'm so geographically challenged. I don't know how to understand things in 3D space. I feel like this cow's face is upside down, but it shouldn't be. This should be the right way. Just gotta force the fuzz through here. Just go, fuzz, go. $70-ish. There's past 100. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wait, if I had any chill and I could stick to one thing, and hello, sister, then maybe I'd be at a higher level. But no, I try to do 50 million things and just can't do any of them. But anyways, okay, let's see if I did do. Yep. This is. it's, it's upside down. The ear is upside down. I sewed it together upside down. Yep. We'll come back to that guy later. I do not like seam ripping, which I can do, but it's not my favorite. So we will fix that cow later. We will put this one together correctly. And this is why I haven't posted these in my shop yet, because I need to figure out how to make them correctly and get like several good ones done before I commit to selling them to people. But they're gonna be so great because when I get this figured out, the cupcake liner is gonna be customizable. So if you want like a name or just any kind of saying in the liner, I will embroider it with that custom text. I'm going to be making one for a streamer. Oh, yep. Camera's over here. I'm going to be making one for a streamer friend that I met at TwitchCon that I've been hanging out with that streams every Saturday and Sunday morning. So they've been like my cozy stream while I'm getting stuff done, and they did not think as a couple they were going to be able to have babies, and they got a surprise baby coming. So the stream name for the baby is Baby Oot, and so I plan on making one of these for them and putting Baby Oot on the cupcake and sending that in the mail. I dropped my cow. No, just happy accidents. I mean, if somebody wants an upside down cow face, then that's a happy accident for them. Okay, we got a new cow ear. Cow number 2. 1 ear. I'm gonna have to like just vacuum in here. I don't know why I bother trying to keep the floof. Uh-oh. I'm short an ear. Why am I short an ear? I had exactly, I know I did. I cut exactly the right number of ears. Here's some cat ears laying down here. Maybe I lost a cow ear down here too. Hello? Hello? Cow ear. Mind me. I should actually sell up the back of this thing one of these days. It's just taking up space. You're too sweet. You're too sweet. I need to hydrate. Okay, well, we're gonna move on past the cow. And we're gonna do... Actually, let's do a reindeer. Because I'm so proud of myself, because I was trying to figure out how to make antlers that didn't just flop over, and I did these. They're full of other fuzz. Don't pay attention to that. But I got pipe cleaners and put them in the little antler so it will stay up. So we're gonna put this in here, and we're gonna fold this over. Plus it's kind of fun seasonal thing, and so I want it like exactly in the middle. Okay, that looks like the middle. No, it's gotta go up a little more. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Come on, line up nicely. And then we flip it over, and here we go. We're gonna sew the reindeer ear. We're gonna get one of these things done correctly on stream. That's my goal. Get one done correctly. Okay. Ba-doop. Trim that. Trim these. Also, reindeer. The reindeer is not nearly as fluff crazy. It's not as messy. Okay. So one reindeer. Ear. Now we gotta put the other ear. Oh, did I do it? Did I do it right side forward? No, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Okay, this one's gonna be the right side forward. They don't look that different. It's just that you're seeing the back seams instead of the front stitches, but you know, it's fine. These will just go on sale at market where people can see it before they buy it. And then they can choose whether they care about which stitches are facing forward or not. Okay. Stitch, stitch, stitch. Back stitch. Here we go. Oh, I gotta do something. I forgot to ask Rosie, do you want to go by Rosie in here or by the name I know you by? Either is okay with me. I just want to make sure I do the right one. That also makes sense why that wasn't lining up and it seems so much shorter because I had it upside down. But here's the reindeer. We got it. We got it figured out now. We gotta make the reindeer upside down. So the bottom of the face attaches to the cupcake. That makes sense. That makes sense. The top of the face is going to stick out above the cupcake. Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. I think it took me a couple of hours to embroider all these faces too. Embroidery takes so long. Okay, yeah, this lo-fi is a way better vibe than the first station I picked, so I'm glad I changed it. Alright, here we go. Oh, I feel like I need this in a better position. Okay, here we go. We are gonna do so the body to the liner, animal to the liner. Here we go. I'm getting better and better at these. Definitely the embroidery machine. I was editing some footage to put on the socials of the process and like setting the machine up and like I was doing a video, like a blog video, and I was using it for the first time, and looking at that, I didn't think like I have gotten that much better at it, but watching back to the first time I used it, oh my goodness, I've gotten so much better at it. A lot of things are just coming a lot more naturally. I've figured out different tools and techniques that work, and I don't have to redo as much. Which will also happen with these cupcake patterns. I just need to make a few more successfully, and then I'll get like the muscle memory of it. And then we will be good to go, and I won't even need to look at my directions. And I won't sew things upside down. Okay. Here we go. So, voila, now we have a reindeer. And when you open it up, his head is right side up. Yay! Hello, Ash. How are you? I hope you're... I can't remember... You weren't on this morning, were you? Was I just busy or were you not on? I can't remember now. But I hope you had a good day. I started off strong and now I'm kind of losing a little bit of steam, but I took a long time trying to set up these cameras, and what I realized is I really just need to bite the bullet and get myself an overhead arm so that I can get the right angle for the sewing machine. But otherwise, yeah. So I was like, I gotta stream this because I spent a lot of time prepping it. Oh yeah, yes. That's right. I saw some video you posted from the concert. It looked like a ton of fun. I hope Mabel did okay with you being out so late. Are you doing, speaking of being out with, Mabel, are you doing Gen Con and, C2E2 again next year? Because I was gonna try C2E2 to go see Critical Role, but I didn't get tickets, so I had to get the tickets for Gen Con. So I think I'm just gonna go to Gen Con. Not just, I have 2 other cons, but I'm not gonna go to both Gen Con and C2E2 because money and time. But I am going to Dragon Con this year again, which I miss so much. Okay. Good. Because I really want to see you again. And there's still, knock on wood, cross your fingers, they haven't announced who got into Gen Con yet. I got an email that said they'll be making decisions soon. So there's still a chance I could be spelling there, which would be so super exciting. And I'm trying to get Riku to save up to come. So that could be another bonus of going to that one. Just saying. Honestly, if I have a booth there, I might hire Riku to help me because I will probably need it. They were really busy. The little hall between the main area and the stadium where the makers were set up, I talked to a couple of them there. There was one small like quilting. She did like fish bags and wizard hats, and she said she like sold out on day 2, and she was like, you know, frantically trying to make more things to sell for the last day. She had a little antique sewing machine there, and she was sewing things on it, and it like didn't need power, so she could use it while she was down there, and she was just like trying to make what she could when she wasn't busy talking to people. So that was pretty cool. It sounded like she thought it was really a really good opportunity. So hoping, because if I don't get into there, I still haven't technically heard back from KitsuneCon, but they made a post not too long ago that they would have had that they were sending out all the acceptances and wait lists last week, and I didn't get one, so I'm assuming that means I'm not on either. And then I have TwitchCon I haven't heard from. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, and I tried to give them as much information that I like am focusing more on the tabletop stuff, like with the gelatinous cube and the dice stuffy plushes. And so hopefully, they'll consider that. I don't have a ton of the stuff up now, but I'm working on it. My goal, I think, for online sales for Christmas is I would love to get just $100 in sales, and I just had a $20 order that's gonna go out on Monday, so I'm pretty excited about that. Trying to get my social medias updated and get some traffic. I wrote a gift-giving blog, gift-buying blog for fantasy lovers. I'm gonna try, well, I didn't write it, AI wrote it, but I tweaked it. Because your girl has a full-time job and she has to do all the making and she has a million other hobbies, so you know. This bean don't have time to write her own blog. But I think I'm gonna try to get AI to write another one about gift giving for TTRPG lovers and get that one out next week. That's the plan. I've seen your ads, Ash, for a little special gift I should get myself. I bet you it is. You know, I actually haven't had one in way too long, let me tell you. I don't know what happened, but thought they existed for a while or something. I don't know. Okay, now it's time to pull this puppy right side out, and that is the magic. Let's see. Let's look at this. Come on. Peek through. You can do it. Push. Come on, reindeer. It's time to be born. Time to be born, reindeer. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Let's straighten out the pipe cleaners. I show you my beautiful baby boy. My beautiful baby reindeer. There he is! Yay! Now I gotta stuff him. Where's my stuffing? I moved it. Where did I move it to? Hello? Oh, I put it over there. 1 sec. There we go. We gotta stuff him nice and full of stuffing. There, I have. Now, no matter what else happens during this stream or the rest of today, I don't know how much I'm gonna do this, but I will have one stuffy that I'm very satisfied with. This guy. I can put all the puffy stuff in. The one thing that I haven't quite figured out if it's me or if it's the pattern is I feel like the seam on the top of the head comes way down into the face more than I would like. But it's not so bad. Here, just stuff. Jam it in. That's where you can take out some of your aggressions. Stuff in the plush. Pew. It's not quite full yet. Needs a little more. And then I save the hand sewing. That's like usually I will sit down while I'm like watching streams or watching TV, and I'll do the hand sewing while I'm doing other stuff. So that's one nice thing is the final little step I can do while I'm doing other things. Okay, I think that feels good. I think I squish. check them out. Oh my goodness. You see a little thread sticking out. We gotta trim that nice. There we go. Push that up there. And look at how their ears, the ears stand up. Ah, he's a good boy. Okay. Oh, that's maybe a little too much. One more round of stuffing. Then we'll go to the next. We're gonna make a kitty next. Kitty's so cute too. Yeah, and I gave up trying to do this little icing piece here that was supposed to be with fabric, and I could not figure it out. And you were supposed to sew it, and it just was not. It was not a good time. So I just did felt, and then I did a heat bond, and it really makes a difference because the other ones I made just didn't have. They didn't have icing, but you're gonna have icing on your cupcake. You little boy. Okay. Reindeer. We'll set you over here. Oh, actually, I don't know if you've been here since I have new channel point redeems, but you can collect your daily mom hug if you're needing one, or if you just want one. Okay, we're gonna make kitty ears. Look at us, kitty face. Look at us, kitty face. That's the cutest kitty face. So we're gonna sew the kitty ears. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces. We'll make 2 ears. Okay, stuffing. Move you over there. Also, I've got, you're always giving us the tarot reads, but if you need a reading, I've got that in my redeems now too. But maybe after the ad. After the ad break. Okay, here we go. Boop, boop, boop. I think I did the short ad break. Oh, no. Let go. Don't eat my cat ears. You go, let them come back out. There we go. No, you can't have it for dinner. Give me my cat ear back. How rude. Okay, turn. What does Frosty Tools say about this guy? We'll check after I sew this ear. That sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? I'm just sewing ears. Now, a verse from our collective tale. In the crafting stream, cows upside down. Tootsie adores the creations around. Spooky shares concert tales so late. Plans for cons, oh how they await. A wild yamper in chat did appear, but alas, it fled without a cheer. Rosie finds cuteness in the mix. Spooky's love for crafts is an easy fix. Join us for crafts and games in sight. Friendship makes Sunday bright. Oh, that's so cute. Thanks, Frosty Tools. Feels so dark in here. I probably should have turned my dining room light on too. Okay, so we got one little baby kitty ear. We got a little spot here that's hanging over. We'll trim that down. All right, 1 ear. Now we gotta put these together to make the second ear. Do a little back stitch, forward stitch. No, don't eat it. You can't eat it. It's not food for the sewing machine. It is the ear for my plushie. There we go. That's better. Welcome back from ad jail. Thank you for the cozy stuffed plushies. I miss Birdie. Birdie did those emotes for me, and I don't see them around anymore. They used to stream their art on Twitch, but they got busy with life, I think. Okay, so we got kitty ears, and we're gonna put them on a kitty face. So we'll see. I don't think I need the directions for this round. I think I remember. We have to attach the ears, and then we attach the head to the body upside down, and then we fold it in half, and then we attach the bottom. I got this. I got it. We're gonna get this cat done air-proof with no directions. We got it. Okay. One ear attached. Shoop. And clean the threads. At some point, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing for supper. I think we have a choice between pizza and a giant pot pie. And the giant pot pie takes a long time. So we're gonna have to put that in the oven soon if that's what we're having. I love a good pot pie. All right, ear number 2 attached. Then the next step is to attach the cupcake head to the cupcake liner bottom. Okay, so we do this upside down. Which one? Oh yeah, the kitty. The kitties get the cozy pink flannel cupcake liner. So we're gonna just line this up. I think I'm just gonna use the clips this time. They're a little faster. And then we clip this spot. We just gotta make sure that they line up relatively even. Which I think I did a good job of cutting these patterns because they seem to be lining up pretty easy peasy. We're almost to the magic part. We've got this seam, and then we got to do the side seam, and then we got to attach the bottom. And then we'll be able to flip them out and stuff them, and we'll see what he looks like. Okay. I like this one because the fabric, the cat fabric, isn't fuzzy at all, which takes a little bit away from the softness of the plush when it's done, but it's so much easier and less messy to sew. And then, but the cupcake liner in this is still nice and plush. Really so soft. Soft, cuddly, and cute. These I call my cupcake cuties. Well, that's what the pattern maker called them too, so. Oh, there's a ferret. Gotta catch them all. Alright. Let's... This one's going speedy. I'm glad I like it when it gets to assembly time, because when I gotta do all the little pieces, I get real impatient. But now it's time to put it all together, and it's like magic. We just have a bunch of different pieces, and then magically we have a cupcake kitty. Okay, but before we can do that, we've got to sew around this side. So clip these seams together, and then we clip these seams together, and then we'll clip the bottom together. That should hold it good enough while I sew it. Oh no, ferret escaped, and no one caught the ferret. Hi ferret, enjoy your freedom. And gets real thick in this spot. There we go. We got the boy through the sewing machine. Oh, good. And then we gotta get down just past this cupcake liner. And then we gotta leave a little hole so we can turn it right side out. Bring this way down near the bottom. Let's see if we can line these bottom pieces up better. Come on. No, ah! It's fine. You go line up right next to each other. And this goes down. Do a little bit of a back stitch so this doesn't come out. And then down to the bottom. And one more back. All right. We got one more step of sewing. And then we can turn this baby inside out and see what our kitty looks like. That doesn't sound right. We're gonna see what our cutie cupcake looks like. Oh gosh. We're gonna try not to get stressed out about the fluff mess. It's a lot of fluff mess. Okay, where's the cupcake bottom? Cupcake bottom. Cupcake bottom. Okay, so we'll clip this in here. And then we'll clip halfway around this side. And over here. And then we will get this. This is where we're going to start. Right in the middle. Behave. Line up. Get in there. Okay. And go to the back. Oh, there's so much fluff. We're gonna have to sweep out the sewing machine after this cupcake. Okay. I can't tell. Are you together? No. Yes, no, maybe so. We gotta make sure. We don't want any holes in the bottom. Okay. So soft and floofy, it moves all around. Okay, we're gonna go here. Okay, I'm feeling confident. We've got it. We've got it. It's all in here. These are overlapping. Bam. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, adjust this. Move this around. Here we go. And keep turning, keep turning. Oh, we're almost back to the beginning. Yeah, we are almost back to the beginning. Okay. And backstitch. And we did it. We got the bottom. So we'll clip that. We'll clean up these threads. Snip, snip. And snip, snip. We got some loose threads over here. We'll clean those up. Then we'll take our little sweeper. Oh, bumped the microphone. Sorry. Okay. Lift this up. Hold these threads. We do a little good sweep. Oh, I didn't hold them good. So much floofy fuzz. Floofy fuzzy? Floofy fuzzy stuff inside here. Oh yeah. All better. Okay. And now it is time for the magic. Where's the hole we left? Here we go. It's time to turn them. Time to turn it. I keep looking back because I want to see if I'm in the camera, but yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Almost. Shake it out. Pull up at the ears. Oh. We got a cupcake. We got another cupcake. Look at that. Oh, look at that cupcake. Is it gorgeous? Okay, now we gotta stuff it. Stuff it. Stuff it good. Stuff it. Stuff it good. Okay. Gotta get it all up towards the head part. Get that packed in there good. Scoot the sewing machine back a little bit. You know what? I should turn on the light behind me. It's getting dark. I hate that it gets dark so early. Alright. Here we go. Stuff, stuff, stuff. Still pretty dark over here. We gotta make sure we get it up in there so we can see that cute little smile with the cute little tongue hanging out. Oh, we got a little long thread here. Let's trim that baby. And go in a pile. Stuff, stuff, stuff. Stuff the fluff, stuff the fluff, stuff the fluff. I should come up with cute names for these guys when I put them in my shop. Like the cat, all the cats should have the same name. All the reindeers gotta have the same name. And then, cows, yeah. Reindeer, cows, and kitties. And I think I actually might make a pig next. Because I have some plain pink fabric that can be the pig face. Okay, let's see. What are we? Got the right amount of fluff? Nope, it's a little light on the fluff yet. We need a few more. Pack in a few more pieces of fluff. Fluffity fluff. Up here in the head. Then down here. Need a cupcake liner. I'm not sure. I think this might be enough. All of these eyes have the little star as one of the little white spots. Can you see that? Yeah, it's got a little star. And Mom's got a little tongue sticking out. So cute. The last one I made had a slightly different pattern for the eyes and mouth and stuff. I really like this one. I should have trimmed these jump strings earlier, but that's fine. Okay, I think this one's good. So we've got one kitty cupcake, one reindeer cupcake. All they need to do is have their back ends hand sewed shut. So let's see. I can't finish the cow. Because I don't have the other ear. And I was thinking about switching to games. So I think what I'm going to do is put you on a BRB screen so that I can move all my stuff and do games. Because I need a break from sewing. So we'll be back. Let's do just chat. Hi, that doesn't work. Let's move this over here. Pew, pew, pew. We're going for a ride. Oh, goodness. Hello. We're going for a big ride. These cables are all weird in weird places. Sorry. Hi. We're gonna figure this out. I should have just went the BRB screen. Okay, we're gonna just do the BRB screen because this is all tangled up. But we'll see you in a minute with games. BRB. Okay. I got most of the stuff situated. Welcome in the level 2. I was just actually switching over from a little bit of crafting, and now I'm going to be doing some... I gotta adjust the music, it's too loud in my ears. Probably just need to adjust my own volume. But yeah, I'm going to do a new game called Life After Magic. So I'm going to just switch my category, get my game up. And that's okay. That's okay. Life After Magic. We'll see if it's... Yeah, sure. It is in here. And I gotta get Steam open. You missed a Keepy. Well, welcome in, Keepy. Oh, goodness. You know what? There are a lot of us, so it's easy to do. I know that I haven't followed all of them either, but let me just make sure I drop the follow for you. Where's this? User actions, follow. There we go. Now I won't miss you. Okay, library. Life After Magic. Let's do that. Let's do this. It's my first day. Yeah, it seems like that would be a great idea, right? Once you're in a team together, just follow them. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the game screen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is so loud. Let's fix that. Okay. We'll keep the voice volume up. Okay, that's better. Ooh, that caught me off guard. Okay. Game capture. We are not doing Elden Ring today. We're doing Life After Magic. Hello? There we go. Here we are. We got a game. Oh, that's a really good suggestion though. Because why wouldn't you? I mean, I had the hardest time the other day. I was trying to do that exact thing as I was trying to raid into a keepy, and I was like, why is it so hard to find someone on my stream team to raid into? Sorry, I was like, everything is moved around from when I was crafting, which is literally I just turn this way, but everything gets moved. Okay, here we are. This is my first time playing this game. It was I believe, a free game. I got quite a few free games on Steam that are queer games. So when I am not playing Elden Ring or crafting, I try to play these. I'm also, one of the millions of people trying to get into voiceover. I'm currently going through an audition process for a D&D podcast, but I also like these as good practice for my voice. So let's get started. What is your name? Do we want to leave it as a Kiku? No, we are friendship. We are friendship. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll have to drop by and catch your stream one of these days. Wait, you just asked me this. My name is Friendship. Okay, I don't know. Hi, I'm Friendship. I'm a 22-year-old high school dropout who's a bit of a klutz. My blood type is O, my star sign is Libra, and some days I wish I didn't save the world. I should probably provide some context for that, huh? Oh, actually, I just realized because this game isn't a full screen game, I can actually keep my chat up on the screen. Since there's an ad, I'm going to take a moment to do that. So we're going to pop chat out. Cool. And we're going to move it over here. And we'll make it just a little bit taller. All right. Let's give the ad a moment to run here so we don't miss game, especially since we're early in the beginning. Um, Just- la, 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 la. Okay, here we go. I really actually don't know when this ad ends, but we're gonna keep going. I should probably provide some context for that, huh? See, a few years ago, my best friends and I were fighting the forces of darkness almost every week. We were the Sentinels of Justice, and I was their leader, Princess Sentinel Starlight. We saved humanity more times than I can remember. You could say we were a big deal. Except we were all still in high school, so we had to keep our identities secret. And after many years battling countless foes, we finally defeated the Demon Queen Azrella. Our long war was finally over. Oh yeah, I can probably turn off the background music I have on since this game has music. And that's the worst part. It was over. All of it. In a few short months, the Sentinels went our separate ways. We retired from magical girlhood, and that's when my life really started to take a turn for the worse. Something most people don't realize about heroes is how saving the world all the time has its price. My price was terrible grades all throughout school, and in the end, I dropped out entirely. I never applied to college, vocational school, or considered any careers outside of being a magical girl. I didn't even have time to think about it. Turns out, saving the world from doom about once a week for 5 years isn't something you can put on your resume. My life peaked at 15, and now I'm grinding away at a dead-end job at a makeup store to try and make rent. Living in a coastal city like Diamond Cove on minimum wage is a daily struggle. But worst of all, I never see my Sentinel squad anymore. Even when we promise to stay together, no matter what. Nobody warned me that maintaining friendships as an adult is more challenging than any supervillain. What kind of a happy ending is this? My life's a joke. I'm broke. My love life's DOA. Okay. In a week and a half, it'll be New Year's Eve, and everyone's all excited, or terrified, for the year 2000 and the new millennium. But I don't even know what I want to do tomorrow, let alone the rest of my life. At least I still have one friend left from those old days. Friendship, you seem kinda down today. What's the matter? Oh, yeah, I should probably explain. I have one remaining friend from those days. My cat. He talks and comes from outer space. I may need to explain the details another time. Oh, it's nothing. Come to think of it, you've been down a lot lately. It's not befitting behavior for a world-saving alien princess. Is there anything I can help with? Could you give me more bad guys to fight? I want to eat ice cream under my bed sheets, then cry myself to sleep. Relatable. Let's have some bad guys fight. It's been so boring lately. I could do with some dastardly villain opening up a gym or something, and then I could go kick their ass. I wonder if any of the villains we defeated are still around. I wonder what they're up to now. Maybe they're also struggling to make rent. Maybe they work in pizza delivery or something. Hey, we should order some pizza. Maybe the bad guys set up an evil pizza delivery service to drain life energy from humans. Friendship, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your rent is due tomorrow. Toast it is. Well, I would have toast if my damn roommate would buy groceries once in a while. Looks like I'll need to skip breakfast again. Aw, nuts. I'm gonna be late for work too. I'd better bust out the rollerblades and get hustling. My manager said today is going to be really, really extra super important. I wonder what it could be. Ah, Glamour Pop. One of the last stores still open in this dying mall. But inside, you wouldn't know it. It's wall-to-wall cosmetics and hair products. Beautifully arranged. The corporation is doing so well, they may knock down the wall into the next store and expand there too. It's not the most exciting job, but it pays the bills for now. Well, sort of. You think if they can expand the store, they could raise our wages a little. Ooh. But at least I made a friend here, which makes it more bearable. Lise is my coworker, but it's more accurate to say she's my work wife. Even if the week is a total crapshoot, at least somebody here has my back. She's my first real friend who isn't also a magical girl, and she knows nothing about my past. It's sort of refreshing. Lise is funny, passionate about the environment, there when I need her, steady, is basically my rock. She's also hiding behind the counter hyperventilating. Why are there so many people here? It's not that many. Okay, wait. It is kind of a lot. Calm her down. You've got this. Remember what we say when things get tough? I am tough like spider silk. And that's the strongest thing ever. Arguably, the shell of a tortoise could be considered stronger if you take into account the... Lise, concentrate. Wasn't something happening today? Oh, right. Lise, today is the start of our promotion for that super special makeup line our manager has been bugging us about. They're bringing in a celebrity guest, remember? Gadget the Tackle Hut Chihuahua? No, a human celebrity. Apparently some big shot from Corbett's here to introduce us to the line. Better get ready. This will be a first for us. Usually they don't care about us retail plebeians. The celebrity guest. I wonder who it could be. Hey, you two. Get your act together. Our guests are coming soon. I turned around to spot two women walking side by side through the store's front doors. One is clearly from Glamour Pop's headquarters. She's carrying a large briefcase and her eyes narrow when she sees us. Something about her is kind of familiar, and then it clicks. I've seen her on Forbes? That fancy business that fancy business magazine that props up successful rich people. Her name is Anna Lee, the woman who rapidly climbed the ranks of Glamour Pop and turned it into a makeup empire. They say she's a business genius, but she's ruthless too. A nightmare to handle. My manager's putting on his best customer service smile for her. I bet he's scared straight. As for the woman walking next to her, I see a flash of pink as a woman decked out in elegant cream-colored idol attire trots by Annalee's side. Everyone knows her as Ara now, but I knew her as Boyoung Kim, our second in command, Lieutenant Sentinel Aurora. We've had our ups and downs. She's caring, but opinionated and hot-headed. Back then we were close, but we argued a lot. After the final battle, we kept in touch for a few months, but that faded out. I haven't talked to her in years. Since then, she entered the music industry and became a pop idol. She's been popular since debut. I would have been happy for her, but we were supposed to keep our identities a secret. When she debuted, she revealed herself as the Sentinel Aurora to the world. It was obviously a marketing tactic, but her new fans ate it up. I'm disappointed in her. Never thought she would use her identity to try and gain fame. I bet she's changed even more so now. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she pretended not to recognize me. As Ara glances over the crowd, she locks eyes with me immediately. Uh-oh. She's coming over here. Friendship? What are you doing here? Actually, I work here now. Oh. Eh. Ara fiddles with her necklace, which I recognize as her sentinel ring. We each have one, and it's the source of all our magical girl powers. She still wears it after all these years, huh? The silence hangs in the air, and the atmosphere is awkward. It's been so long that I'm not sure what to say. It's nice to see you again, boy. You can call me Ara now. It's my stage name, but I prefer it to my real name. Oh, okay. Got it. No problem. So, what have you been up to lately? I haven't heard from you in ages. Ara, well, it's nice you've reunited with your friends. Why don't we get down to business? Everyone else is waiting for us after all. Oh, right, sorry. I'm ready when you are. Annalie claps her hands, and everybody in the store stands at attention. Glamour Pop is proud to announce the greatest, most ambitious launch in our company's history. Annalie lays down her briefcase on one of the empty tables. She opens it up to reveal a trove of plastic sample bags full of packaged makeup. From what I can see, everything looks cute and colorful, with star and ring motifs. Just what I like. The color coding reminds me a lot of the Sentinels, actually. We'll be doing our first ever magical girl themed makeup release using the iconic imagery of Diamond Co.'s very own Super Sentinels. What? Annalie continues on explaining the specifics of the so-called collaboration, while my mind reels. I shoot Ara a pointed look. How could she have let this happen? First, she uses the Sentinels to pave her way to fame, and now she's allowing our image to be used for marketing makeup products? As a former member of the Sentinels, I'm so excited to share our history with all of Glamour Pop's customers. Please support the new line. She must be joking, right? Or this is some crazy dream that I have to wake up from. I pinch myself. Nope. This is happening. Ara? This is such an interesting concept. One that I would have loved to hear about ahead of time. You know, you could have called to let me know about how you're selling the image of your group. Oh, don't be silly, friendship. That'd be breaking my NDA. She gives me a half smile, half grimace, while blinking rapidly from me to. Lee seems to pick up my discomfort. Why magical girls, though? They say they're always saving the earth, but when I see them fight, it's just magical people fighting magical villains. Then nature and regular people pay the price of their collateral damage. Couldn't they use their powers for more pressing issues? Or better yet, couldn't we have heroes that aren't moon charged, but are just regular people doing the hard work of really saving the earth? Um, I was a magical girl, so maybe I'd be tempted to defend them, but this is like my only friend now. So do I agree with her or do I just deflect? I think I'm gonna deflect. What if we had gotten Sarah Michelle Gellar as a celebrity? Wouldn't a Buffy makeup line be so awesome? And Willow would be cool. Ara looks baffled by the conversation. Moral opinions on magical girls aside, I lean into Ara, whispered distance. Ara, you really didn't think I would have approved something like this, would you? I suppose not, considering you're not in charge of it for once. Dimly, I get the sense I'm getting glared at, and it's not just from my manager. I turn my attention back to Anna Lee as Ara glides back over to her side. Regardless of your personal feelings, the reason we're here is to offer our prospective customers free samples of the sedimentary line. Sentimentality line. The words. The employees, of course, get first pick. Perhaps that'll change your mind. We start to open up the samples Anna Lee presented us with. Admittedly, the formulas for this line seem solid. The eyeshadow glides over my eyelid, and the lipstick's creamy base feels great to apply. I take a glance over at Lee's and can't help but crack a smile. Lee's, are you trying on the makeup your way again? You know it. Goodness gracious, what on earth are you doing to your face? Did you know that flamingos use an oil secreted from their butts to keep their pink feathers from fading in the sun? It's like rouge. This pink reminds me of that. How ridiculous. I thought you trained these girls. Ma'am, we do. This hire just has unique taste. You bet she's unique. I always look forward to her next look. The way she does eyeliner is totally the future. It's not even near her eyes. I like to make pretty leaves on my cheeks like I'm hiding in the jungle. Well, that certainly was a demonstration of our makeup. Count on my weirdo Lees to brighten up a bad situation. A demonstration of what not to do. Now our manager looks like he's about to pass out. Did I do it wrong? I'm so sorry. This is just such a special occasion, and she was very excited to try on everything. Are you an idiot? What do I pay your salary for? Image is power, and this is not the glamour pop image. He's so scary and pretty. Lise looks like she might faint or develop an unhealthy fixation. Will she get fired? I should do something. Put the makeup on wrong. Get an Annalise face. I want to do it too. I want to go along. Quickly, I try to recreate Lisa's creative application on my face and look defiantly at Anna Lee. A show of solidarity, huh? How quaint. She leans in close. But I'd think twice before you cross me again. Okay then. I guess the strange girl can stay. But Anna Lee turns to the manager. But you're fired. What? I must get to my next meeting, Ara. Come along. Other stores are expecting us after all. Expect shipments of more sample packages inside. We'll be distributing to our customers over the next couple of days. My manager opens the door for Anna Lee and Ara as they walk out. He looks utterly defeated. Ara glances back at me at the last moment, and I give her a look as if to say, we're talking about this later. Lee's nudges me. Oh, my life flashed before my eyes. Thank you for your help back there. Anytime. That Anna Lee sure is a firecracker. The day just got started, but I feel like I just got off a roller coaster. That's when I see Alistair coming crawling around the corner. What does he want now? A kitty! Wait, it's too late. Lee is showering Alistair with pets. He seems to accept them, so I wait a moment. It's a long moment. Lee, shouldn't you watch the register? Oh my gosh, I forgot about my job. Alistair, what are you doing here? I don't think seeing Ara on today, of all days, was an accident. Oh, so he saw Ara walk out. Something of fate is in the air, friendship. You should call the others. Really? I don't think they want to hear from me. You can't ignore my magical cat senses. They're never wrong. Can your magical cat senses mend years of tense silence and resentment? Oh, don't be so dramatic. I'm not going to call them. To be honest, I don't even have their numbers. It's that, or you may find, like, a hairball under your pillow later. Gather the sentinels. Fine. It has been a long time. I don't even know how to start finding the sentinels again. Jackie? Yeah, Jackie wouldn't scream and run away at the sight of me. I think I'll drop in on the gym where she trains. Hopefully she's there. I'm just going to appease Alistair. Then it's back to regular old boring life. After making it home, I feed Alistair an early dinner and touch up my makeup before heading back out. If I'm to find Jackie, the best place to start would be the Golden Glove Gym. Jackie practically lived there back when we were still in high school. I'm hoping that's still the case now. I take the path I know the best, through Cove Park, and expect to be tied up with anxious feelings of doubt. But instead, something about the walk there begins stirring up old memories. Even though there were quite a few changes, the path remained largely the same, and I feel an odd comfort in that. Would Jackie be the same? Of course she would. What am I thinking? Even in the earliest days, before she even had her sentinel ring, she fought tooth and nail to become the woman she always knew she was. That never changed. Even when her opponent was her own family, she had always known that what she wanted out of life, and we respected her for being so grounded. Grounded. Although there were definitely times she was more spaced out than me. Still, she was still always there for us when we needed her the most. All the more reason why I feel terrible looking back and seeing how little I've kept up with her. She never failed to call for holidays or my birthday. Despite that, I even lost her number. Man, why am I so bad at this? I really need one of those new cell phones with caller ID. Now that I can afford not that I can afford a new phone anytime soon. While weighing the options of a Nokia versus a flip phone, I arrive at the gym in no time. The Golden Glove is still open, but is nearly vacant, save for 2 people. In the center of the ring, I spot Jackie wearing mitts and catching punches from a little girl I haven't seen before. After you break my guard, I want you to land 2 body shots on me as hard as you can. After that, I'm going to swing, and I need you to roll and repeat the pattern. I got it this time, coach. I'm ready. Then show me. Let's go. This new girl starts to throw a flurry of punches that Jackie catches with her mitts. Every so often, she lets a few slip by her, allowing Leela to hit her in the same spots. Jackie isn't just standing there and taking it either. Every so often, she quickly swipes her mitt near Leela's head to punish. But each time, Lila smoothly ducks and rolls out of the way. That's it. Now that's how you do it. Keep your head moving and the pressure on. An opponent will get desperate, making it easier for you to pry open their guard. Coach Martinez, you said this would help me against taller people because it's supposed to lower their chin. How come yours isn't lowering? You'll have to hit harder if you want to lower my chin. What's important is that we build your confidence. You're young. Strength will come later. I'd feel pretty confident if I knew I could knock someone down in one hit. Huh, I bet you would. You'll have to trust me on this one. Technique makes a better foundation for confidence than strength ever will. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm pretty sure this might bruise in the morning. Layla doesn't take long to bask in the praise before she notices and points at me with her glove. Coach Martinez? There's a weirdo watching us. Weirdo? Huh? Jackie is surprised when she turns to see me awkwardly standing at the foot of the ring. She must have really been focused if she didn't notice me till now. Oh, hey, that's one of my weirdos. Hey! Hey yourself, stranger. What are you doing here? What? I can't visit my friend? Friends usually call ahead. You caught me all gross and sweaty. Well, you see... You forgot my number, didn't you? I'm sorry. Who's the weirdo, coach? Again with the weirdo. All right, Leela. Leela, this is Friendship. Friendship is an old friend of mine from back when we were in high school. Leela stares intensely at me, as though she were trying to puzzle me out. An old friend and weird hair? Starlight? Huh? Leela! I knew it! I'm right! Jackie, what the hell? Whoa, hold on. I didn't tell her anything. I'm very smart. My dad even says so. I already knew Coach Martinez's soul. Jackie, why? It wasn't on purpose. You might not recognize her since it was a while ago, but Leela was someone I rescued back when we were saving the world. It was so cool. You were fighting monsters on a bridge and they were gonna whack, wham, pow. It was so crazy. One of the monsters hit the car that Daddy and I were in and went boom over the side. Daddy bumped his head, but I didn't. I wore my seatbelt. Oh, but we were sinking. But then we stopped sinking because we were in a giant bubble. And then bang! The coach came in and busted our window and dragged us out. Wait a minute. Can we please go back to the part where your father bumped his head while falling off a bridge? He is alive, right? Huh? Daddy's way too tough to die, silly. He just went to sleep for a bit. Jackie rolls her eyes and sighs. So apparently her father knew my... Oh, ad break. Saying, what is going on? So apparently your father knew my Tio, and out of sheer coincidence, she joined our gym in about the same year as our breakup. She, never seemed to have forgotten my face, I guess. Leela gasped. You dated Starlight Sentinel? That's, Leela, the team. We're talking about when the team disbanded. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. What's that supposed to mean? Okay, hold on. I was there dealing with a monster and was nowhere near you. How did you figure out who I am? Oh, that's easy. Coach has no social life, so you had to be one of them. Leela. It's true, though. You're either here hanging out with that biker girlfriend of yours or going to concerts for that Ara lady. Biker girlfriend? It's not what you think. They're just my friend. Look, you can ask. Jackie stops mid-sentence when Lila begins to mock her with kissy noises. Jackie claps her hands suddenly. Gee, would you look at the time? Lila, how about you finish? Leela, I don't know. How about you finish the day off with some jump rope before your father gets here? But hop to it. Lila nearly trips over herself as she runs off without question. She can be a handful, but she's got a good heart. So what about you, fearless leader? What have you been up to? Surviving. I work at a makeup store now and try not to drown from the rent while I figure out what I want to do with my life. A makeup store, huh? That suits you. Good for you. Huh? Are you making fun of me? It's a retail nightmare. I'm not. You were always big on makeup, so it's nice that you get to work somewhere that suits one of your interests while you figure things out, right? It's nice to know we have something in common now. What do you mean? Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Are you... you know that kid packs more of a punch than I give her credit for. Say, how about one of those good old-fashioned Starlight patch-me-ups? I sigh to myself, knowing that I'm not going to pull more out of Jackie once she gets evasive. I look around to see if anyone else is in the gym, and when I see that we are alone, I nod my head. All right, fine. Show me where it hurts. Mostly the sides, here and here. I lower myself down to get a good look and place my hand where she guides me. Jackie's breath hitches when she feels the touch. I forgot about this part. It used to tickle. I don't know how you could forget. I had to heal you more than anyone else on the team. Yeah, that's what happens when your confidence leads with strength and not technique. I see. I could make out the damage Jackie was referring to. It was subtle and still fresh, but I've played the role of healer a lot. Now this takes me back. Noticing when something was off came naturally after I had enough experience. I wonder what went wrong. Not that I don't appreciate your attention, but are you going to start soon or... Huh? I snapped out of my little daydream and noticed my magic was acting up. There was supposed to be bright light coming from my fingertips. That's not supposed to happen. What's wrong, friendship? My light is dim. It's supposed to be way brighter than this. What? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. Look. I try straining my magic some more, but the light never glows any brighter. Oh, that is weird. Is it helping at least? Do you feel it? Kinda. It's a little tingly. Maybe my tickle tolerance has gone up. Alistair warned me something strange was going on. This must be it. Jackie, have you had any issues with your magic? I haven't touched it in ages, friendship. Mine's a little dangerous to be throwing around in retirement, especially if your healing isn't working too well. I really don't want to bust open another punching bag for this. Those are pricey. You know mine is kind of fickle anyways. You're better off asking everyone else. Besides, if the little dude says there's something up, he's usually right. I try my best to hold back a groan. I knew I had an I told you so waiting for me when I got home. More than that, this was not how I pictured meeting up with everyone again. Fine. I guess I have some phone calls to make. Do you think that maybe you could missing their numbers too? Yeah. Don't worry, I got you. Jackie runs across the gym and pops open a door leading to an office. I can hear her scrambling for a few things here and there, but soon enough she comes out with a piece of paper and hands it to me. Here, those should be all of our numbers. Once Lila gets picked up, I'll be good to go. Just give me a call when you figure out when and where. But for now, I gotta get back to her training. We've got time. Ditch the rope, Leela. Let's take it back to the bag. Same routine as earlier. Show me how you're going to be a champ. Yes, coach. Leela straightens up, tidying her footwork. She releases a barrage of punches upon the training bag. Right. Thank you, Jackie. I guess I should head out then. Hopefully I'll see you soon. After saying my goodbyes, I take one last look around the gym and wave to Leela before I leave. Okay. We're going to call it good here. We're going to save. We're going to pick slot number 1. All right. Let's see who we got. Let's see what we got going on for a raid-o. Raid-o. Let's see who is on. There's so many people. So many keepies on. There's another crafter on. Sam is on. Maddie's on. And let's raid in Maddie. I don't get a chance to raid Maddie very often. And I've known her for a super long time. So let's do this. Let's go to just chatting. I should be streaming again tomorrow night. I'll be doing my Elden Ring. And then I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of the week. I haven't figured it out yet. So thanks for dropping in. Let's get this raid Madison. I think that's how you spell it. Yeah, that's it. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you next time. Bye.